Hello friends, I am Shivaji Bhaskar, Faculty of Russian at the School of Foreign Languages, IGNOU. I welcome you all to this course, Basics of Russian Communication Skills Part 1. As you remember that in our previous module, we have discussed a few concepts of Russian grammar and phonetics. We have also discussed with the help of few sentences that how the tone and texture of the Russian language is. Now, as you've seen that as a methodological tool, we are using certain texts with the help of which you will learn about the basics of Russian. So, we have discussed about a text titled Moskva, which means Moscow is the capital of Russia. So, before we begin this module today, we will have a very quick recap of the text and then we will discuss it with you further. Москва. Москва – это столица России. Это большой и зеленый город. Тут есть высокие красивые здания, широкие улицы, большие парки и площади. В центре Москвы находится Красная площадь. Кремль и мавзолей Ленина как раз находятся тут. Москва не только политическая, но и также культурная столица России. Now we will go to the next part. Тут есть известные музеи, театры, галереи, библиотеки, институты и университеты. Знаменитый Большой театр находится в Москве. Москва довольно древний город. Тут жили и работали великие русские писатели, поэты, драматурги, художники и ученые. Now we'll go to the further next part. Москва также крупный промышленный город. Тут есть большие заводы и фабрики. На юго-западе Москвы находится Московский государственный университет МГУ. Это самый крупный университет в России. В Москве есть разные виды транспорта – метро, трамвай, троллейбус, автобус и такси. Однако самый популярный и удобный вид – это метро. And now we will look at the final part of the text. Москва – очень современный город. Тут можно увидеть большие универмаги, рестораны и новые иностранные машины. Москвичи очень любят свой город. Now we will go to the beginning of the text. Alright, here you can see the text. Now we will discuss the text with you all. Please pay attention to the words and expressions which have been used in this text. And we are talking about Moscow, which is the capital of Russia, and many things about the city. So please pay attention, and we would like to recommend you all to note the words and expressions which you find very important and as per the requirement, so that you can use such words and expressions later while communicating Russian with your family and friends. The title of the text is Moskva, which means Moscow. The first line I am going to read for you is Moskva – это столица России. As you already know, whenever we are making sentences in Russian, we start with simple sentences and we know это means this. Stolica means capital and Россия means Russia. But however, when we use this kind of construction in a particular context which belongs to the Rajichelny Padesh or the genitive case, for which you have a dedicated module in the upcoming part of the series. So till now, please pay attention to the meaning first. So Moskva means Moscow, это столица России. This is the capital of Russia. Here you can also change it as per your like. For example, we want to say Delhi is the capital of India. So Delhi remains Delhi. Это столица remains это столица. In place of Россия, we will have India, so it will change into Inji. Delhi это столица Inji. So likewise, you can all make your own constructions and very helpful and with a very deep insight. With the help of such constructions, you can also make your own sentences and replace the nouns with others. Like in place of Moskva, we have used Delhi, and For Russia, we are changing into India, but however it is in genitive case, so Russia changes into Russi and India will change into Inji. So here in this case we have Moskva это столица России. Moscow is the capital of Russia. Это большой и зеленый город. We already know большой means big and зеленый means green. So this is a big and a green, город means city. So this is a big and a green city. Тут есть высокие, красивые здания. Тут есть, here you have or here it has высокие means high rises or big. High, красивые, beautiful, здания. Здания means building. So you have high, beautiful buildings. Where? In Moscow. Широкие улицы. Улица means street. Широкие means wide. Wide roads, wide streets. Большие парки, big parks. И площади and squares. As you remember, in our previous module, we have discussed about Krasnaya Ploshad, which is a very popular spot in the center of Moscow, which is known as the Red Square. So from there we have the word Ploshad, but since we are talking about this text, here we are changing into plural, that we have buildings, we have streets, we have parks and squares. So that is why we are saying that тут есть высокие красивые здания, широкие улицы, большие парки и площади. All are in plural. Now the next line is в центре Москвы находится Красная площадь. So right at the center of Moscow or in Moscow situated the Red Square. So Red Square is situated right in the center of Moscow. Kreml и мавзолей Ленина как раз находится тут. As well as Kremlin, the administrative center of the Russian government is Kremlin, known as Kreml in Russian. Mavzolei Lenina and the Lenin's mausoleum or mausoleum of Lenin is exactly located there. Москва не только политическая, но и также культурная столица России. This construction we already know. Stolitsa России means capital of Russia. So Moscow is not only the political but as well as cultural capital of Russia. So here you have a fair idea about the grandeur of Russia's capital Moscow, what kind of buildings, what kind of roads, what kind of places do we have in Russian's capital Moscow, as well as how beautiful it is, whether it is big, whether it is green. So in this particular para you have read about it. Now we'll go to the next part. Alright, so here we are going to talk about certain other buildings or important spots which we find in Moscow. Тут есть известный музей. Muzей we already know is museum. So when we are changing into plural, it would change известные музеи. So we have famous museums. Театры, again plural, theaters. Галереи, galleries. Библиотеки, libraries. Институты, institutes. И университеты and universities. So here we are talking about that Moscow has very famous museums, theaters, galleries, libraries, institutes and universities. Знаменитый Большой театр находится в Москве. So very famous or known the big theater or the Большой theater is also situated in Moscow, which is very popular spot in Moscow where it is world renowned for ballet. Moskovskaya жизнь. We will talk about the Moscow's life. So Москва довольно древний город. So Moscow is a very ancient city. Тут жили и работали великие русские писатели. There lived and worked many famous Russian authors, poets, dramaturgi, dramatists, художники, painters и ученые, and scientists. So, these kind of famous people have always been living and working in Moscow. So, it actually tells about the history, the grandeur of the city, that not only it is big, not only it is modern, not only it has so many libraries, so many museums, so many galleries, but as well as at the same time it is also a very old city where famous people, famous poets, famous authors, famous artists and scientists lived and worked. Okay, I hope this concept is also clear to you, how we develop a text, and if we want to talk about a particular place or a city, what kind of important elements we need to include in that. Now we will go to the next part. Here we will talk about the different character of Moscow, in the sense whether it is industrial and what kind of other important places do we have in Moscow. So, Moskva также крупный промышленный город. Moscow is also a very huge, a very big or grand промышленный город, industrial city. Тут есть большие заводы и фабрики. Here we have big plants and factories. На юго-западе Москвы, юг and запад. Yug is south and zapad is west. So, in the southwest of Moscow, what we have a very famous world-renowned university which is known as Moscow State University. How do we call it in Russian? Московский государственный университет, and the short form is MGU. We use it like that. Это самый крупный университет в России. When we use крупный, it means the grandest or the biggest. It is the biggest university in the entire Russia. So, the last para we are going to read about it is Moskve есть разные виды транспорта. It is also a very important element of any city when we talk about the various types of transport. So, Moskve есть. In Moscow we have разные виды транспорта, different modes of transport. Metro, tramway, trolleybus, автобус и такси. So, we have metro, we have trams, we have trolleybus, we have buses as well as taxis. Однако самый популярный и удобный вид это метро. However, the most popular as well as comfortable mode of transport is metro. Now we will go to the next part. Here we are going to conclude the text, and please pay attention to certain expressions. Moskva очень современный город. However, in the previous part we have talked about that Moscow is довольно старый город, that it is a very old city. However, now we are saying that it is a современный город, which means a very contemporary or very modern city. Москва очень современный город. Тут можно увидеть большие универмаги. Here you can see big supermarkets, restaurants, и новые иностранные машины, and new latest or new international or multinational or foreign made cars. Москвичи очень любят свой город. Москвичи, it is a specialized term which means Moscovites. So, people who live or citizen who live in Moscow, they are known as Moskvichi. And if we want to use it as singular for a man, Moskvich, whereas if it is a female, then we have to use the word Moskvichka. Here we are saying that Moskvich очень любят свой город. So, Moscovites love their city very much. Alright, so you have learned about a very important aspect of Russia, that is when we talked about its capital city, that is Moscow. And as you remember that we have been doing experiments with the help of certain constructions of sentences, where we are actually talking about suppose Moscow or any other place or any other building or author, but at the same time we are doing construction so that we have a fair idea about how do we make text or make sentences or refine our communication in Russian, so that the thought process of our learners get richer. So now we will just look at the text once again and find out certain expressions or words which are important. So we have already learned about the name of Moscow is Moskva. Stolitsa we already know means capital. We have also talked about the genitive case, how both are related here, like Stolitsa Chivo, Stolitsa России, Stolitsa Inji, Stolitsa any other country you can replace with, and with the name of that city which is the capital of that particular country. Then we have eta большой, we already know, and as well as you have also learning about the antonyms and synonyms of separate different words. In this case we have большой, you already know, means маленький, which is antonym of большой. Then we have зеленый, it's another very important word in a form of an adjective. And at the same time, when we are discussing about the text, please pay attention to the ending of these adjectives. Like in case of большой, it is o и краткий, whereas in case of зеленый, it is и краткий. Город we already know, means city. Then we have высокие, красивые здания, широкие улицы, большие парки, all are in plural forms. Then в центре Москвы находится Красная площадь. We know that Red Square is a very important place in center of Moscow. Kremlin и Mavzolei Lenina. Kremlin and the Lenin's mausoleum is another important expression which we have used in the text. Likewise, you also use such kind of expressions which are related to your city. You can also make your own text on Delhi, on any other city which is the capital of that particular country. Then we have Moskva, ni tolka politicheskaya. Here we are using two different connotations for different purpose, but for the same city. We are saying that not only political as well as for Noitakshe, but as well as Kulturная stolitsa, cultural capital. So for political, cultural as well as financial, you can also use certain expressions, but the style would remain like this. Now we'll go to the next part. Here we have seen that we have used certain adjectives like izvestny muzey. So we are saying that museums which are very famous, izvestny. So you can also use in place of muzey izvestny люди, famous people. Izvestny goroda is means famous cities, and many more such examples in order to make your thought process even richer. Then we have театры, галереи, библиотеки. You can also use these words in singular, театр, галерея, biblioteca, and we already have talked about the gender of nouns. So you know that biblioteca is a feminine gender word, театр is a masculine gender word. So большой театр, известная библиотека. So these kind of constructions you can also do while reading such text. Then we have институты, университеты. Alright, so now the next line is знаменитый большой театр. So this is a very famous place, the Bolshoi theatre. Bolshoi, it never gets translated because it's a proper noun. So we always say, even if in English, if we are translating, we never say big theatre, we say Bolshoi theatre. If we are talking about the Bolshoi theatre of Moscow, which is in Moscow of course, and Moskva довольно древний город. So we use this kind of expression as well to say that the city is not only a very modern with such amenities and such kind of a grandeur, but it is as old as any other city where lived and worked великие русские писатели. When we use великий, we mean the great. So for известный, we have the expression famous, whereas великий means great. Великие русские писатели, Russian authors, writers, поэты, драматурги, художники и ученые. When you will read more about Russian famous people, you will find all such kind of great artists, great writers, authors, poets. So just to prepare you in advance so that when you read the Russian literature or you would see Russian plays, read Russian novels, look at Russian famous paintings and listen to famous music composed by Russian composers, etc. So you will find and you will feel the richness of that country. Now we'll go to the next part, and here we will have Moskva также крупный промышленный. Крупный we use for grand. So крупный промышленный, промышленный industrial. Город, city. Тут есть большие заводы. Завод is for plant. Fabrika is for factory. На юго-запада. Here we are also using юго-запада because we have talked about directions, but not in details. You will be learning about that in a dedicated module. However, in this text we have used yuga. It's from yug means south, zapad means west, yugo-zapada southwest of Moscow. So yugo-zapade Moskvi, because we have used the construction of the предложный падеж, which is the prepositional means na, at or on. Southwest Moscow we have Moskovsky Государственный университет MGU. So this is again a very famous university, the biggest one in Russia. Whenever you go to Russia or you look at the books or documentaries, you will always see the building of MGU is rising right at the center of Moscow. So, это самый крупный университет в России. That is why we have emphasized that this is the biggest university of Russia. В Москве есть разные виды транспорта. Then we have talked about that not only these kind of buildings, not only these kind of new and old things which happened in Russia, capital Moscow, but as well as we have the modern modes of transport, because it is something which makes any city livable and famous. So in Moscow, есть разные виды транспорта, different modes of transport like metro, tramway, trams, trolleybus, autobus, bus, taxi and taxi. So whenever you are talking about these kind of modes of transport, you will be using most of them in your dedicated modules when we'll talk about Glagoli Dvizhenia or the verbs of motion. Alright. So before that, please remember these different modes of transport. Однако самый популярный удобный вид. So among them, the most popular as well as the comfortable удобный vid mode of transport is metro or metro like we use in Russian. Now we will conclude the text. We'll go to the last part. Moskva очень современный город. Moscow is a very cosmopolitan, very contemporary, very modern. However, in this form, when we are using the text, we are using the expressions, we are using the words, we are trying to explain it with the help of several words so that you understand the meaning as well as gist of the text well. Тут можно увидеть большие универмаги. There you can see big univermagi. So it is from the universal univermagi, from magazine. So we have combined two terms together. In Russian it is a valid term which means supermarkets. But if you translate it like that, then universal markets. But we have supermarkets. Restorаны, restaurants. Новые иностранные машины, latest international cars, these kind of other things which makes Moscow grand, makes famous, makes the capital of Russia, and it talks about the life of Moscow, its various other elements. And then finally we say Москвичи очень любят свой город. So Moscovites, they live there and they love their city very much. So you can also add certain portions while developing the text. So Москвичи, которые там живут, if you want to use the expression that those who live there, they love their city very much. Okay, I hope the text is absolutely clear to you all, and I would like to suggest you that in place of Moscow, please replace it with Delhi and replace Russia with India and make your own text so that you can also talk about Delhi. You give inputs, you add certain information which is exclusively for your own city, and you will see that not only your communication in Russian is getting richer, as well as your thought process, your style of writing as well as your style of speaking Russian would even go better. So now we are going to talk about a dialogue between two friends. Here we have taken two names, one from India, that is Ashok, and one from Russia, that is Sasha. As you already know, a very famous name for males in Russia is Sasha from Alexander. So it's a short form. In this particular dialogue or conversation between these two friends, we are going to talk about certain expressions which we use to indicate temperature, as well as to make it a very important aspect of learning of Russian. We will tell you how to use certain expressions of Russian when we talk about temperature, when we talk about different months, and we talk about different seasons. So I hope you would enjoy this text. Please pay attention while I read the text for you. The first line is, Ashok is asking Sasha. Alright, so we have two characters, Ashok and Sasha. So the first dialogue starts with Ashok. Ashok, Sasha, какой месяц самый холодный в Москве? Саша, декабрь и январь. Ashok, а какая тогда средняя температура? Саша, средняя максимальная температура 9 градусов, а средняя минимальная температура где-то минус 4. So now we will go ahead and look at some of the replies we received from Ashok. Ashok, это очень холодно. А когда бывает снег? Саша, снег бывает почти всю зиму. Начинает он падать где-то в октябре и кончается где-то в марте. Ashok, ой, как интересно, почти полгода осень идет снег. Москва в этот период, наверное, совсем белая. Саша, да, весь день лежит снег. И на улице, и на крыше, и в парке, в саду, буквально везде. Now we will go ahead and look at the response. Ashok, у нас снег бывает только на севере. В горном районе Индия жаркая страна. Саша, да, у вас очень жарко. Моя мать несколько раз была в Индии. Она всегда говорит, что в Индии бывает только 3 сезона. Жарко, очень жарко и очень-очень жарко. Друзья громко засмеялись. So, we have read the text first in Russian so that you understand the tone and texture of Russian language, some of the pronunciation, some of the words, expressions. Now we will discuss the text with the help of English translation. Let's go to the beginning of the text first. Here we will discuss the text. Однажды вечером Саша и Ashok разговаривали. Однажды, once. Вечером, in the evening, Sasha as the character and Ashok разговаривали. They had conversation, or they. Ashok and Sasha, they are conversing together. So Ashok is asking Sasha, Sasha, какой месяц самый холодный в Москве? So Ashok is asking Sasha, какой, which month, месяц, самый холодный, coldest in Moscow. Then Sasha is answering, Декабрь и январь. So we have already talked about different months of the year. Here we have used Декабрь и январь because these are the particular months where in Moscow the temperature is coldest. Ashok, а какая тогда средняя температура? So Ashok is asking Sasha question, а какая тогда средняя температура? So which is the average temperature in Moscow? Then Sasha is answering, средняя максимальная температура in Moscow is 9 degrees Celsius, which we say in Russian 9 градусов. А средняя минимальная температура and average minimum temperature is где-то минус 4, minus 4 degrees Celsius. Alright, I hope the expressions are clear to you. Now we'll go ahead. Here Ashok is asking, это очень холодно. So Ashok is saying that this is very cold. А когда бывает снег? Then he is asking Sasha, and when do you have snow? Which means snake in Russian. Then Sasha is answering, снег бывает почти всю зиму. Here you see we have used the word снег, бывает, happens or falls, почти всю зиму, almost the entire winter. Zima means winter, leta means summer, but in this particular case we have used with this construction where we are saying that we have snow in Moscow or in Russia almost the entire winter. So the next line is начинает он падать. On we have used for snake, for snow. Начинает, it starts. Он падать, snake or the snow fall. Где-то в октябре, it starts where, somewhere in October. И кончается где-то в марте, but ends somewhere in March. So here you again learned about two more months, that is October, and Mart, which means March. Earlier we have talked about Dekaber и Январь. Alright, so now the next line is Ashok. Ой, как интересно. Now he is with exclamation saying oi. In Russian you have this expression when it is surprising. So you say oi, как интересно. It is very interesting. Почти полгода у вас идет снег. Almost half the year you have snow. So that is why you can see there is an exclamation mark. Москва в этот период, наверное, совсем белая. So he is saying that in Moscow it must be during that period almost white. Then Sasha is answering, да, весь день лежит снег. Yes, almost every day we have snow. И на улице, и на крыше, и в парке, в саду. So he is saying that you will find snow almost everywhere, the entire day. You will see it on the streets, on the rooftops, in the parks and in gardens, and almost literally everywhere. So now we will go ahead and conclude the text. Then Ashok is saying, а у нас снег бывает только на севере. So Ashok is informing Sasha that we also have snow, but it is only in the northern parts. So только на севере. Here you also learned about another direction, means sever. If you remember, in our previous part we have discussed about Yuga-Zapada. Yug, south, Zapad, west. Here we are saying sever, means north. So only Vostok, which means east, is left. We will also cover that in certain construction. So till then, please pay attention to the words which we have used in this text. So he is saying that у нас снег бывает только на севере. We have snow, but only in north. В горном районе, from гора, which means hills. So in hilly region, India жаркая страна. However, you know that India is a very hot place or a very warm place. So жарко means warm, hot. We use that expression in Russian, but he is saying that India жаркая страна. India is a hot country. Sasha is asking, да, у вас очень жарко. So Sasha is saying, yes, у вас очень жарко. You have very hot or very warm. Моя мать. So here we have used the word mach. However, you have already learned mama. So in informal situation we use the word mama. However, literally when we use the word mach, it means mother. So моя мать несколько раз была в Индии. My mother has already been to India many times. He is saying несколько раз mean many times. Она всегда говорит, she always says, что в Индии бывает только 3 сезона. That in India you have only 3 seasons. That is жарко, hot, очень жарко, very hot, and очень жарко means very hot. Друзья, громко засмеялись. So when they listen to the word of Sasha, that he is saying that his mother says that India has only 3 seasons. It is hot, and very hot. And that is why they laughed aloud. So that is why you also need to remember about certain expressions that when we use in the text certain kind of things about a certain country or certain culture, we use it with little humor. So I hope you enjoyed the text very much. We will be discussing many more texts with a few examples and expressions in our upcoming module. Thank you.